Stuart, it's 12 days now since you left Shildon. What are the emotions at the moment?
Still a little bit raw. Still a little bit disappointed with not getting the chance to finish the season. Really, with respect to, given it was our decision to resign, but even so, we still like to have taken those players who were very much our players to the end of the year and finish it off and say our goodbyes as such.
You spent a long time there with Gary. What are the fondest memories?
Fondest memories of eventually getting that league title, which took us 10 years. It was a bone of contention in Gary's household and our household. The two wives weren't too impressed with how much time we spent there, and we to eventually get over the line. It was I don't really say fondest memories. It was the biggest bit of relief we've ever had in football, was just to get that one over the line. And given after the disappointment of the previous season and not being able to do it at Bedlington, and with, I think we only needed a point, didn't we, or something, doing it. So very much relief there. But I think just to bring some trophies to Shildon, it had been a long time, and they are such lovely people. The fans there are great. The committee were brilliant with us, and just to give them some trophies, and some of them are getting on a little bit, if you like to say, and it was kind of, they used to get the comments of get us a trophy before I pass away kind of ideas, which was a regular comment, and it was very much just to get the trophies in there and see them stand at the bar getting the pictures taken with them, and it was a lovely moment.
You leave a lot of players behind that you've worked with for a long time, many long-standing relationships as well. Have you got a message for those players?
I've spoke to a number of them and messaged them all in the group WhatsApp before we left it as such. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just continue doing what you've been doing, continue pushing it, and for the new manager and the new assistant manager that are in place there, the club deserve to continue getting trophies, continue winning, and those boys have put an awful lot of hard work in, and they're a committed group. So just keep doing themselves justice and continue doing the best they can.
The circumstances behind the decision to step away have been very well documented. What would you put it from your point of view?
Without opening up many cans of worms as such with it, I mean, I think it's very much from our point of view, we felt like the decisions that we always made within the football team side of things were taken away from us, and at that point you have to kind of look at yourself and say, can I continue to work under these, I wouldn't call them restrictions, I would say more, it was, we felt like we had to have the courage of our own convictions and say, listen, these decisions are going to be taken from a football standpoint away from us by individuals either within the board or the chairman, we're going to make these decisions on our behalf, then we couldn't really be expected to run the football team, because I felt they were football decisions rather than real financial decisions. It wasn't as if the club were under pressure for money or anything like that. So we felt like it was something that was taken away from a decision that we'd been making for 10 years, had been kind of pushed upon us, and we felt that ultimately that there had been potentially rumblings or discussions behind the scenes with people who were looking for looking for the reaction that they got. Whether that's true or not, that's the way it feels to us, and some of the information which has come out, and there's been a lot of whispers about things, and I don't really try and buy into them too much, but nevertheless I think we felt like there's been people who'd wanted to try and engineer certain things, and I think they've got what they wanted to do. But listen, it's the chairman's and the board's decision there, who manages and who runs their football club, and the direction that they want to go. And ultimately, as much as I can whine and moan about it, it's their decision, it's their football club and the fans' football club, and if that's what they're looking for, then it's their prerogative to do so.
And how is Gary feeling about the situation?
We're all in very much very much the same kind of thought process with it. He spent a lot of time, Gary, with and myself and Phil Bromwell, Keith Finch and Dean Walker, the physio, spent an awful lot of time over the 10 years working at it and building what we thought was a successful football club. For at this level, it's a well-structured football club. It's got a great infrastructure with the board, and which we can't take too much credit for, but with certain things we had involvement. But the football team, the development centre, and all has all got a great future ahead of us. And Gary's very much the same. He's a little bit disappointed. He would have loved to have just seen the season out, shook hands with everybody and said, okay, you take it on the direction you want to go, and we can move on to pastures new as such.
Good point there. We'll just move on to that. Are you looking to get back in quickly?
Yeah, 2 weekends of with the family and the wife is kind of taking its toll already. So it's kind of got to the stage where we're actively looking. We've had a couple of 5-6 offers of things which potentially are not quite right for us. Ideally, we would like to go in somewhere where they've, rather than going through the whole 10 years of building an infrastructure and all that again, I think we'd prefer to go somewhere that have got their stands in place, they've got their pitch sorted out, they've got their reserve teams or whatever else you want to have within that club, and what the club's desires to have are all in place, and we can come in and say to the chairman, okay, what do you want us to achieve with your team? How do you want us to achieve it, and how quickly do you want it? And they can tell me how, and myself and Gary, and where they want to be, and we will then go out and try and provide either those successes or those trophies or whatever we can.
There's a lot of mention of we there. It would be going somewhere as a management team. Do you not fancy a number one role?
I've been offered roles myself, and had Gary not had the appetite to do it, I very much would have done easily. It wouldn't have been a second decision. But all honesty, we work quite well together, and as much as Gary's the manager of the team, and I've always been more involved with the coaching and the training and that side of things, but we have a very much democratic approach to picking the team, and if one of us are really adamant that somebody or how we should play, we generally say to the other one, fair dues, I'll tell you that everybody that I backed you on it, and even though quietly we may not have done, but I don't really see it as me playing second fiddle all the time, but it's very much, it works. We've been friends for a lot of time, and we have bus stops at last days sometimes, and we have we have dinner with family together, and we socialise at weekends together, and it kind of works. The things that he's good at are some things that I might not be very good at, and vice versa. So it's worked. So I don't see really reason why we'd be determined to go in a different direction if it does work.